So,
Here's the latest news.
huh? I didn't ask you anything. Well, anyway. So here's the latest news. Art Museum. Good, buddy. Go. You already blew the stop sign. I mean, he didn't actually get out and blow it, but he was continually going. What is it? What is it? The Art Museum. What's going on here? What is that place? Besides this Satan, the synagogue of Satan. What is it with that place though? Why is it? I feel like it's a temple, and I can go into that temple and when I go into that temple, there's a bunch of artwork on the doors, the walls and stuff. And I can go in there and then I can interpret what the drawings are to an extent. I tried to anyway. It's not like I interpret everything correctly. I learned how to throw stuff up against the wall and see what sticks. There's always so much traffic, and everybody, I feel for these people. You gotta hurry up and hurry up and hurry up and hurry up, and you got no time to do anything. You hurry up and hurry up and do that. Hurry, and then you die. Where do you go when you die? Back here again? It's just no way to live. And why do you have to come back here under the rule of Satan as a slave? Because he lied to everybody? Because he's hiding the truth from you in order to set you free? Shouldn't you just be free indeed, considering he's hiding the truth from you? And then if you knew the truth, you would turn. What keeps... God, I can't. You would turn to Christ and he would heal you. Who even knows who Christ really is? What is it anyway? It's just it's not a person. It's a title of being anointed with the Spirit. But yeah, there's going to be one person that is going to represent him, just like Adam is Christ representative. Not in the beginning. So if you knew the truth, you would speak it. The male-female system is something that I never thought was anything. I can't on this. Something just keeps tapping. Are you gonna stop or what? I never thought that it was I just never thought about it. I started to catch on to the woman thing. It might even been like 3 years ago. Maybe 3.5-ish. Somebody commented and said, "All right, Robin, now what about the women?" Something about like the women. It's time for you to understand women, and the fact that you'll see on YouTube, you'll see women, but you won't recognize them. You won't recognize them. You'll recognize the spirit. You're going to see Jezebel. You're going to see Mary. You're going to see the repenting spirit. You're going to see Mary in her repenting stage. That spirit on YouTube. You're going to see Jezebel's spirit. And then you're going to see a spirit where, like Eve, that already had the Holy Spirit from the beginning, but got beguiled. You're going to see these different spirits on YouTube, but they're going to have faces of men. Some will have hair like women. And not everybody you see is going to be... Not every female you see in the world in person is going to be a natural female. I believe that's called a Canaanite, because I think it's some who was saying it? Was it Eliezer? There was somebody that was saying to Abraham, or was it Abraham saying it to somebody? I don't know who these people have conversations with, but something about his son Isaac, where from Paul Tiller. I was listening to him a couple days ago. I haven't gotten a chance to put that stuff together, but it's in the folder, where Isaac... Well, Abraham wanted him to have a wife that was, well, he said part of his family, but I think what he meant was, I don't think he meant like his own sister or whatever, but I think from his own natural born. Are there natural born women? I mean, I understand Eve came from Adam, and that's how it began. So, technically, man or woman is still man anyway, because it's mankind. She came from man. It's just that she was mixed up a little bit with the DNA, the alterations, and then from what I heard when Colette was teaching that before, that, you know, once Satan mixes up his mixture of DNA with certain species and types of people and nationalities, and mix it up, and then you finally have like a clone type, where you have a model, and that new model can be produced through seed itself. This is always so clustered, this area. I don't know why they didn't make streets wider. I guess Satan wasn't really into treating us very well down here on his planet, is he? I guess it could be worse, right? Well, it could be better too. So the seed mixed up, changed, altered, and then all throughout the time of creation, you have people that, well, they transgender. They switch lanes. If they knew the truth, if the transgenders knew the truth, and I'm talking to the ones that are male to female, Lucifer race, and you can't tell. You can't tell that person was a man before. I mean, if that's the case, kudos to you, Lucifer. Like, you are a physician. You're the literal physician. Christ is your Christ is the spiritual physician because he found you, Lucifer. But you're the physical doctor that can. I don't know how men stop growing hair. I mean, I know my own head itself. My baby picture, my bald picture, same thing. My baby picture, I was bald. So, go figure. It only took 17 years later from my baby picture to go back to looking like my baby picture. I don't know what happened there. I think I was targeted at the school, the 2-year college I went to. My roommate who left a bunch of shampoo, but he stole all my clothes and underwear and socks and everything I had. Nintendo, Sega, video games. I wound up getting my stuff back, but he left me a big bottle of Head and Shoulders. Why did I use that? Was that not a dumbass move on my end? Was that the part that did it? I'm sure Jonathan Kleck knows. Back when he was, back when he was not the greatest caretaker. Here we go. Dead stop. Dead stop. It was 1996. Well, 94 to 96. I graduated in 96 when I was 20 and started carpentry work and didn't go to high school a day in my life. Just skipped right past it. 8 months incarcerated, got the GED. So I went bald at the beginning of the school year. That's what happened. Anyway, so I think that was designed, regardless if it was intentional or not, or God just made sure that he had to keep me humbled in each way that he could at times. Don't worry, now take your time. I don't particularly like when I can't see in front of me because I don't know which lane to get in because somebody is blocking the road. And I can't imagine that it's not just done on purpose. All it takes is one person to do it. So maybe God didn't want me to now lie with a woman too much. It worked. It killed my self-esteem up until the point when I went to jail for good for the year and a half and I didn't have any hats to wear and I was like 28 years old. Like, you know what? It's time to just accept it. I'm bald. What am I going to do? Pretend I'm not? But it's a major wound to the head because it's a devastating blow to my ego. I never really had much of an ego. Thanks to God. Thanks to be God. Alrighty then. Couldn't imagine living down here and just being... I used to live down here. Erie, 5th Street, more around Allegheny, Kensington-ish. Right in the heart of the heroin capital of the planet. Not by choice, but definitely by design. Not by choice, but by design. My family was poor. Not was, but still is, really. And it's like not... We're all just... We just get by. And when I was young, I was poor. I was hungry. I stole things of ham and cheese at Circle K's in Florida. And I remember doing that at the age of 6 years old because I didn't hang around my brothers too often. But when I did, I got in trouble. 6 years old, robbing a bike store. Like, what? I don't know. I get questioned by the police. You know, I heard something about a side door being open. Okay. I'm telling the cops the truth. Get my brothers in trouble. Well, you shouldn't have brought me. I'm 6 years old, stupid. What do you think I'm gonna do? I don't even know how to lie yet, even though lying comes natural to people. But I didn't like that feeling. So I don't like the feeling of lying, and I can't stand being lied to. But there's nothing I can do about it. Just watch it, see it, look at the lie, discern it. Try not to hold it against people for lying to me from birth. About the secret things that goes on. And so the male-female system. You look like a man, but you're really a female. You look like a female, but you're really a man. I believe Lucifer came down from heaven because you're neither male nor female in heaven. And when he had the ability to transform your body into what you're going to look like in heaven. And I believe that you may be neither male or female, but if you are a male, you have your own female within your body itself. So somehow, just like if you're a female, you'll look like a female, you know, the most beautiful female that you can see, a heavenly being. But you're male also, but the male is inside of your body. I've seen something about angels where it was showing their body as in see-through, and the mechanism where your male component, how it's inside of your entire stomach and chest area and all that stuff, that's where it lays, that's where it's at. But then your outside your body is feminine, female. And I understand God's design because it's meant for you to be self-sufficient, or even just to be self-sufficient as a male itself. And the only fruit that you eat is from your own tree. And then down here, you know, not everybody can do that. So Satan offers you that. So I believe that's why Lucifer came down, to offer people to leave your first estate before you die. And you're supposed to go to heaven, but what he did was he lied to you. You're not going to go to heaven. You die, and then because of God's mercy, the only thing that happens is you repeat back here on earth. And then you live in the flesh again, and you suffer in pain, in turmoil, and you do it again, and then you die, and then you repeat. I don't know how many of you actually remember your previous lives, but wouldn't that be something if say you're married to somebody and they used to be a man and they actually died before, and they went through the skull and bones system, and now they're perpetrating as a female, or vice versa. You thought you married a man, but she was a female before. But I don't know how much that is eternal and for Satan. I think he likes to He likes to torment men more. He likes to trick men. He likes to get a man that's heterosexual to have sex with the transgender that you can't even tell, because that's the trick. That's the ha-ha moment. Because, wait a minute, what are you talking about? That's not a dude. Mary Jane's not a man in a mask. What are you talking about, Shaggy? Come on, leave me alone, will you? I'm tired of you putting that stuff in my head. Scooby, I mean. Scooby-Doo. So on Earth, going back to the Canaanite women, I feel like the Canaanites are, you know, it's in the name, Cain. Canaanites. I used to make fun of the Klekites, remember? And then the Abelites and the Cainites. Abelites, the Cain and Abelites. So Isaac was the sacrifice. It's like Abraham represents the Lord God, as in a person on earth. Isaac's father. Isaac's dad sacrificed him. He brought him to the hill, wherever that was, the mountain. Offered him up. He was going to do it himself. But then he heard a voice saying, I will, I don't know, bring a sacrifice myself, or I will show up, or something. Or a lamb will be the sacrifice. A ram. So Abraham is like the father of all nations, so he represents a male figure, and the father of Isaac. And then that would be this similitude, the parallel story of Christ being the only begotten Son, John 3:16. I remember on 3/16/2020, I wished Jonathan Kleck a happy birthday. And then and I also predicted the stock market would go down 3,000 points and tumble. And then that's exactly what happened that same day, because I did it 4 minutes before the bell at 9:24 or 9:26. Jonathan Kleck rang the bell at 2:26 p.m. But the stock market had already tumbled 3,000 points. And the exact same thing I said happened. And it's the first time ever in the history of existence that the stock market tumbled so terribly. It was the worst point loss in history ever. And it was on Jonathan Kleck's birthday. You know, according to who Jonathan Kleck is on the YouTube channel, his birthday, he's representing 3/16 on that day. And then 9/16 just passed. It was 42 months since then. I went in the art museum on Denise's birthday, and one of the first things I seen in the first song was Isaac, Julian, and Bo Barty. So I went in there with Denise Juliana, and at the time Bowie was still alive, so I did go, and it was the first song and the first time I went in the art museum, and I'm recording U2's soundtrack in the background. 8 Songs of Surrender. And then I also started YouTube with Bowie Merlin's Fake News, April 2nd, 2017. It was a 1 minute, 11-second video. 11 years, 11 months, 11 days after Joel Karim uploaded the very first video of me at the zoo, the elephant trunk, I already interpreted the very first video ever on YouTube consist of the elephant trunk that's very, very, really, really, very, 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 very long. And that's what Lucifer has offered, coming from heaven. And at the same time, 11 months and 1 day later, which is a 111, I got crucified by Matthew Daly, who had 111 subscribers on that day with the ones. It's all 111. Everything was 1111111. Number one. Everything lined up. So that's going to bring me to my art museum footage that I just did yesterday on 10/9/8 76543 and 1. And it's a video where I was going to title it, but I forgot. I Stand Alone on that day, which was yesterday. It's going to be tougher. You know, I may have some people with the repetition of showing you, because that's how you get conditioned to seeing it. You hear it, you see it again, it's like, huh. It filters out any negative doubts. The more you see it, the more it's like, you know what? I mean, now that I see it again, I don't understand how it's possible, Robin, but there's no question that your footage is identical to YouTube's videos. I'm willing to admit that part, but I don't know anything else to admit. I don't even know what that means and why it happened. How did it happen and why did it happen? I don't know, maybe because I wish Jonathan Clark a happy birthday on John 3:16. His birthday 3 years ago. Maybe I already went in an art museum at one time in my previous life, and there wasn't anything, like the books that I showed you in the videos weren't actually there. But the second time around, who's in charge of doing that? Lucifer? Or is it God doing it? Or is God using Lucifer to do it? To set the stage in order to use the music to worship God. Maybe that's why it's done. But how is it so precise? I've convinced millions of people, I'm sure of, because you've seen it, and those of you that are masters of the universe, you've shown it to millions of people. At some point, they're all going to come out of the woodworks. So I got them to believe that what happened on the art museum on 3/23/2023 was U2, Bono, Edge and company. They somehow took your footage that you just recorded this year, according to your memory, Robin. You recorded it this year, and it's identical in matching, considering that you're playing the same song. First thing people have to understand is when I show you the video, I'm playing you the same exact song that I was playing in the art museum through the X app in a square peg. When I stood alone yesterday, it was a round hole. I was coming in like a planet. First time was a square. Next time is a round hole. You can fit the round hole into the square peg because it'll blend together, but you can't put the square peg into a round hole. That would be the 9th video, because there was 8 of them, and then the 9th one is where I stand alone over the 8 songs, because this time around it was my own footage on March 23rd, 2023 with Bono's videos, but it was my own footage. So I'm basically going back in, confirming the past 30 years or so to only 7 months ago, to the present moment on the 9th video, which is like I came in like a planet. And this time it's my footage that I had already recorded in the art museum the first time. And then the second time I go in, for the first time in my life, the second time, it's starting to line up with my own footage at the present moment. Now that's just nonsense to even say out loud. I haven't gotten any confirmation of any of it, except for when Click said his last video, I'm going to put this video on, it's going to stand alone. And I was already thinking, you know what, when I go in the art museum, here's why I went, this is what I was going to do yesterday. I was going to go in and I was going to start from the 8th video that I recorded, find the room, the 7th video, find it, count backwards, go to the 6th room, room 100, find that, go in reverse. I was going to do it all countdown wise. That's why I titled 10 or 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, because 9 is the one that 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Like the 7 seals, just gobbling them all up because it's food. My intention was to have enough time to do that. I got flustered because the guy said I had 10 minutes. I'm like, huh? Oh no. And like 15 tops. I'm like, God, I'm like, it took me 5 minutes just to figure out what I was gonna do. Because now I'm like, and then I go to put on the YouTube video and it's spinning. So I'm being gang stalked when I first go in there. But so the purpose was to do that. Instead, I just used some of my footage. Even towards the end, I put on a video that was up close video, and then the last portion at the very end of the 30 minutes, because I purposely went 30 minutes, but I wasn't sure I was going to go 30 minutes. But when I was outside, I didn't even check the time, and Jacob came up to me, Jacob Israel, I think it was, with the armband on, the Chinese guy, and he wanted me to take some pictures of him at the art museum. And when I put the phone down, I looked over, and I see my time was, the song started again. It was like 29 minutes. I'm like, you know what, this is perfect, because I can stop it right before Bono says, you stopped in for a pack of cigarettes. Because what happened is my eyes make a circle. I go into the art museum. The whole plan was busted. So I just improvised. The idea was to make sure that the footage stays running continuously for a half hour straight. Because I want to make sure that there's no pauses, there's no way in hell that after, say, 29 minutes and 57 seconds, I'm going to come to a song that I originally started with from the beginning after 6 minutes and then ended on another video because it just kept playing through, where Bono was singing Green Light, 7, and that's when I cut it off. Right before he said stop. In, as I showed you, the building that looks like a pack of cigarettes out back of the art museum. But while I was in the art museum on 3/23/2023, around 3:43-ish or 3:44 or 45, I go into the second video with the see-through, no-brainer alien baby head face, and Bono starts singing Green Light, and I showed a baby, he turns green, 7-Eleven, and then I stopped. And the very next words that would have played if I played it were stopped in for a pack of cigarettes. When I stopped, the third video showed a pack of cigarettes, and that same pack of cigarettes looks like the building that I showed at the very end of yesterday's video. where I stopped it because my time was up. I seen that it was getting to a half hour and I needed to stop it dead on, and that's what I did. And I stopped it right before Bono said stop in for a pack of cigarettes, as I showed you the building that looks like a pack of cigarettes. I've said it before, it looks like a pack of cigarettes. You can't even make that stuff up. The timing of it, like, I don't even know what's going on here and how that even is possible. But I have to try to figure out how is it possible now. When I go into the bookstore, the images lining up as I'm showing you. How? Did I go in there one time and everything was different and I don't remember in a previous lifetime or previous day or something? And then the second time I go in, Lucifer knows what to put up on the bookshelves because he knows where I'm already going to go. Let's just say like the art museum is a blank screen. It's just blank. I'm going into an area and it's blank, but yet I know where I'm going to go. I mean, once I'm there, Satan already knows where I'm going to go. So just like the Gangstalk Corporation, it's too impeccable. We stand with Israel. We stand with America. Honk for Israel. I can only think that Satan knew where I was going to be because my life has already been recorded. Obviously, you can, through the X app, everything has been recorded. So he can go back and the demons can try to alter the future. And they can come back and they can change up the books. And I could see different books, but this time I seen what I was supposed to see because as the timing goes, when I'm going to walk down that alley, down that hallway, I'm going to look over to the right and I'm going to see a color match with the same theme that I'm showing you on 10/9/2023. It's going to line up with 3/23/2023. And you already knew I was going to go in that day, so you knew exactly where I was going to walk. So you placed more items to line it up. But why would you do that, Satan? Why would you do that? That's only going to divide your house. Why would you want to, unless you're Satan himself and you're just tired of yourself? Because Satan is the host body, it's the flesh. Truly, it's the flesh because Satan owns your ass. He owns all of us in the flesh. That's why Christ came in the likeness of sinful flesh. To live the life and say, hey, look, hookers. Look, tax collectors. Look, sinners. I'm just like you. I hang out with you guys. And the YouTube platform reminds me of that very world that Christ would dip his feet into to get his feet wet. And then the regular life, it's like, look, we're all in the flesh here. Satan owns our ass from the time we're born until the time we die. What more does he want? Well, he wants you while you live. And he wants to torment you day and night. And he wants you to be his slave and do what he wants. If God wasn't so merciful, then he would allow you to go and be tormented in hell forever and ever and ever and ever without sending his son to open up your eyes. So to me, living in torment day and night, forever and ever, for the unsaved believers, means when you die, you're just going to repeat on earth again. And you may not even know that you're doing it again. Because if you did, you'd probably figure out, well, you know what? Maybe I need to live a life for Jesus this time. But King David, apparently he remembered once he died being born because apparently his memory traveled with him, and then he was born into another body. And he remembers when his father and mother forsook him. Oh man, I remember that. Remember that spaghetti? Will Smith. Spaghetti at 3 p.m. exactly on May 14th, 2023 at Wildwood. Tapping into the XAT with Jacob Israel and Jonathan Kleck, Morningstar, Greenway Boardwalk. Time to get in the boat. Get out of the boat. Getting in the ark. See all the giants up there on the wall? They're all giants. That was another XAP moment. That was another Planet X moment. It's just the weirdest thing. It's like I have to be in a dreamland. I'm just able to record my dreams, and that's really what I'm doing. I'm recording my dreams. I'm in complete control of my dream right now as I'm halfway awake. But when I fall into a deeper sleep, I don't really control those dreams, although I would love to. And actually, that would be the better world to live in, is your dreamland, if you can control it. Because you never feel tired. You never feel any, even if somebody shoots you with a gun, it's like you're just bracing yourself, but you don't feel it. There's times I jump off buildings, not because I'm trying to commit suicide, just because, I don't know, for the love of God, why? But I don't wake up. I hit the ground. I hate that so much. When I hit the ground, it's like, ugh, I couldn't wake up from that one. It's usually, I'm always being chased though. Not always recently, but before I started YouTube and really started to wake up to the truth of things, I was always being chased in my dreams. It's just like not realizing that it's the gang stalking corporation in real life. It's the spirit that's chasing you around, just like the Matrix Agent Smiths. Everybody can be tapped in at that exact moment to become Agent Smith and just terrorize you and be a nuisance. Do things purposely to try to irritate you. And it's like they're just demon possessed. This whole world is demon possessed. So what if you knew the truth, and the truth was Christ came to die for your sins this time around on earth, second coming, coming in the clouds, and then they're like, hide us from the face of the one who sits on the throne. Who sits on the throne? I mean, you would think it would be the Lord God, right? But in this world, Satan is the one that sits on the throne. Satan's the one that has the book sealed up. Isn't the Lamb worthy to open the seals? Isn't the Bible written, encrypted by a spirit? So if you're able to open up the seals and look therein, then you're going to be worthy, but you would have to be a lamb that was already slain beforehand. So that's where it ends with the murdering of trying to kill somebody and hang him on a cross in modern day. No, the seals are opened up from the Lamb who had already been slain from the foundations of the world. And that's why this seems like a dreamland, because how can I even go into the art museum for the first time in my life, not really knowing exactly what I'm doing, but having an idea? I want to make music videos for YouTube, and I want to present my own artwork, and I want a soundtrack to play in the background. What kind of app do you have, John from Denver? X app? X Recorder? Okay, I'll use that. Come to find out, I go in, both videos failed. When that app was solid, when I was testing it, both videos failed, but yet they did get repaired, unlike the other app. So that's the difference in apps. How is it that footage can line up identical when I'm just pushing the record button, walking around, and this imagery in the YouTube videos are so just how, why, but yet they did. So there, I convinced the jury of the Most High God that you two did. All right, now why? Why did they do it? And then how? How is it possible? How can they do it again? How can it happen again? I'm sorry, not even them. It. How did it happen again? Well, it didn't, Robin. You're just looking for stuff. Am I? Am I looking for things to line up? It wasn't my full intention yesterday. I wasn't even really planning on playing many songs. I just was getting kicked out, so I was feeling pressured. I planned on showing the rooms and the songs for a second, but not to. My intentions yesterday wasn't to eat 7, 8, 9. I mean 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That wasn't my intentions, although that's what happened. And then the more I slow things down, zoom in closer, and run parallel diametrical test, then I'll start to see more and more things lining up that you just can't even make up. And this time around, you know, technically it's still you two, it's still them, but I'm lining it up with my actual footage that I recorded that day on 3/23/2023. I'm using my own XApp footage that very day, and then showing you as I come in, because I came in with a square. Now I came in rounded, and I'm going to show you things that are going to line up between my own footage 7 months apart. It's just, what it does is it separates everything else and focuses in on just what my recorder picked up on at specific times that are going to line up and clash together again. But this time it's not 30 years plus with YouTube's video, although the imagery that I showed from 3/23/2023 is the same imagery from those 8 songs of Surrender, Vertical. Just like Kleck was showing you, Vertical, the YouTube CD that I couldn't find because I didn't have time to look for it. I'll do it again, and I'll do it the way I said. I'll go from reverse to first in footage when I have the time to do it and I don't feel harassed and pressured to get out. But when I stand alone on this video, I believe that's the confirmation, and I believe I understood it correctly, and I believe that I did it correctly, even though I didn't plan on doing it that way. Because I'm thinking, look, I'm not going to go in the art museum with my old footage and expect to line up what I'm recording at the moment. I'm not even going to do that. I'm just going to go in and record from last to first, the 8 songs, and go to the, because I'll have time to do it, go to the different rooms and find the imagery and try to explain a little bit. Maybe I can do it within a half hour, but I definitely didn't plan on doing the way I did yesterday, but apparently God did, and so okay. And so once I did it, I realized, oh wow, look at that. Right off the bat, closing time, the barcode, the green screen in the background. He keeps showing that similar barcode, closing time, and that's what reminded me of it's closing time. I'm going in. I'm not gonna have enough time, but I'm gonna play it through for a half hour straight, nonstop. I'll go back and show imagery that's parallel and identical. And how can you even make that stuff up? So, when I went there, the girl, when those 4 guards were standing 2 on each side, and she's like, look at how much backing you have. Meaning how safe you actually are, Robin. Although it can be irritating at times, but I guess it's different when you have when they're in uniform. I mean, it does feel different opposed to somebody that's an undercover. But I'd rather you be in uniform. I'd rather you be who you are. And then know this. If you're a transgender in this world, and the secret, the lie, is that you're hunting God's angels to make your pillows fly. You are not repented because you're not telling who you're with, who you are, what happened, what the transformation you went through. That's the sin, the lie, the constant cover-up. If you turn to God and ask Him to forgive you for the lying, what's done is done. When you're saved, like Brother Breaker, I called him Brother Breaker. I don't call people brothers. I'm starting to sound like you guys. Robert Breaker, when he says that when certain things are covered under the blood of Christ, well, that's true. But maybe that's what Christ told Mary. And when she finally turned and repented and said, okay, fine, Jesus, I was a man from before, and they sent me in your direction to marry you. And you couldn't even tell until now. So maybe that's when Christ said, Mary? Like, again, I'm just throwing stuff up to see if it sticks because I don't truly know. But he's like, Mary. Because remember when they picked Barabbas? Remember when they picked him? He was supposed to be Jesus. I mean, his very name was Jesus Barabbas, son of the Father. Yeah, the devil. So the devil made you do it. The devil's making everybody lie. The devil's saying you can't come clean and tell who you're with that you are a man. And now you're a female. Leave it up to the man to... Because then again, if you're already married too, remember, your sins, they've been forgiven if you know who Jesus is. If you don't know who He is, what's the point? If you repent from your lies and then be honest with who you're with, from that point on, I'm throwing stuff up. I can't guarantee you won't repeat when you die again on earth. But what I can guarantee is this: Satan won't be in charge of this earth when you die, repeat, and start over again. So that's good news. I don't know if you continue to be with a man when you were born a male. However, I do believe that there's a strong likelihood that Satan knew that you were a feminine spirit, and that's why he stuffed you in a man's body. And then living on this earth, you know, you're basically, when you die, guess what? Guess where you're going? Well, if you're a feminine spirit and you're repentant of your lies, you're going to go back to God as that feminine spirit. Because it only makes sense. But while you're on earth, you're tormented because Satan got you to lie. Well, number one, he got you to change over from male to female. even though that's your natural body, that's how you naturally are. But he got you to transform over and then lie. The lie is what is going to repeat. That's why you're going to repeat. Now, I don't know if you're going to remember when you die your previous life. I'm not sure, because I don't remember ever being born again. I'm like the firstborn. This is the first time I was born. I'm the youngest out of all of you, but firstborn in this world. You may be secondborn 2-3 times over. And you may be a female spirit, but you're trapped in a man's body. And then you transform over. So you transform over into a female, and then what happens is you find one of God's angels who's a literal man. I might just follow him, right? Watch. Oh, no, he's leaving the other way. Damn it. Or no, I could have followed him. But I'll just be patient, wait. I'm not in a hurry to get home. Really. I'm just saying, if I was in charge of the planetary system, this is how I would do it. If you were a transgender and you are naturally a feminine spirit, and I knew that Satan trapped you in the flesh in a man's body, and then what he did was he tricked you into believing that you're not going to go back when you die. You're not going to go back to heaven because well, you changed over into you already left your first estate. So now you're going to have to lie and say that that's who you are from the beginning when you're not. And then that's going to be the sin that holds you down forever, because you're not repenting from it. You're not going to tell the truth because you don't think you can. So I might be on to something here with the Jesus and Mary thing, where she was a transgender and she had 7 demons in her, which could also be 7 brothers, incest, 7 sexual partners. There was something about that woman that had 7 brothers, and when she dies, and it's like Christ said, it's neither male or female, basically. Sin no more, Mary. But she has to come clean with that sin of lie. The lie is the sin. Because let's just say that you were a female originally, and you don't remember being trapped into a man's body. And then Lucifer came along and offered to put you in your original form that you were originally. Like, I just wonder, would this all be just for me to cut in front of me? Or am I just too full of myself? Or am I speaking the truth and this is Lucifer's way of telling me I'm onto it? Sirens everywhere, just non-stop sirens. Woo, woo, woo. Ding, 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 ding. Robin, do woo, woo, you got it. Ding, 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 ding. I still think it's a strong likelihood that Satan has the ability, considering he's the one that made the flesh. He owns us in the flesh. So when you're in the flesh, especially if you're a feminine spirit in a man's body from the beginning, and he trapped you in that man's body, laughing at you, knowing that he's going to get you to change into the feminine body, and nobody's going to be able to tell, but you're going to have to lie from there on, and once you die, you're only going to repeat and come back here again. So here's the difference. If I was in charge, I would say, if I found out the actual DNA, your DNA is truly all male. All right, you're a man. Or your DNA is truly feminine. All right, you're a female. Or you're already an angel and you're male, neither male or female, you're both. and then you came down here because you got corrupted to have sex with the daughters of men, well, then that would mean if you're an angel from heaven, a fallen angel, you're not just some spirit, because you're going to have, obviously, the male component somewhere in order to have sex with those same Canaanite women. Cain's women. Cain's women would be like what he did with Eve and beguiled her and Adam, and then they sewed fig leaves on them. And did they sew it? I think the Bible said sewed, like attached permanently. I would say if you continue to lie to your spouse or your husband, boyfriend, or whatever, and when you die, even though you're truly a female spirit and you're not repenting and being honest with, and let the man decide on his own, and then if he's saved by the blood of the Lamb and he's married and he wants to keep the covenant, and his wife isn't committing adultery anymore, because you don't even have to have sex with each other. It's just the simple fact that you can be with a transgender, you can be married and not have sex with the person and still care for the person and love them and not sin. Especially if you have your own male component as the female, because you're a Canaanite woman. Because Cain gave you something in the night that is hidden secret. But it's not anymore, because Jezebel has an x-ray on one of her outfits that shows you exactly what's going on inside of that belly. Because the serpent will crawl upon its belly all of his days. So I would say, when you repent from it, what do you need the man for anyway if you have your own? If you have a dual St. Peter's altars thing going on, with your original had got inverted and it becomes a vagina, and then your Canaanite additive is the tree that grows fig nougats, and that's your fruit. What do you need the man to? Why do you need him to have sex with you when you already have your own male with you and it's hidden, and it comes out like a scorpion tail from your Uranus as a planet? Why would you need? See, that's the thing. Even if you just come clean, and you already did the transformation, but you came clean, yes, why can't you be saved? Why can't you go to heaven when you die? No matter what you did with your flesh already, just as long as you stop sinning. It's not masturbation as your sin. It's the fact that you're making men's your pillows fly, because you're the serpent swallowing up God's angels, like Ian from the Bud Light commercial. He went to a twin party. Guess what? None of them are actually females. They're Canaanite women. And that's why Isaac is supposed to be with, a natural born woman. I would assume whoever it was, well, wasn't it? Yeah, well, she would know him. Because she didn't know any man. But there could also be the perverted, I think it was Rebecca. There could also be the perverted version where she was a virgin, but like a Virgin Mary in front of the art museum. That kind of Virgin Mary, male to female, worship the Virgin. But I think Rebecca was more of a born for Isaac in order to, like, I don't know, I got to read up on it. Did they have kids? Did they marry each other? Because wouldn't it be a normal sexual relationship with a man and a woman, the way it was intended? And not like how